One of you's getting lucky tonight. Good evening, everyone. So in her new memoir, Jill Biden says that when Joe was in the White House, he watched Fox News. I know. And he would often turn to her and say, "Wow, I'm glad I'm not Joe Biden." Isn't that amazing? Dr. Jill also claims that Kamala Harris demanded Joe endorse her 20 minutes after he decided to step down. In her defense, she was trying to beat the icy grip of death. Dr. Jill also says she was shocked when Kamala lost the election to Trump. Meanwhile, Joe Biden said he was shocked when he jammed his tongue into an electric socket. According to reports, Graham Plattner, the Maine Senate candidate with a Nazi tattoo, exchanged sexual texts with several women while he was married. Worse, he met them on the app OK Hitler. For the mayoral primary election in LA, Spencer Pratt's name is first on the ballot. Yeah. All right. Which helps since most voters are in a rush because they're on fire. Barack Obama's Instagram was hacked. It was a pretty easy account to crack. They simply guessed his password was, "I'm Kenyan." A man was arrested for exposing himself outside a Florida Taco Bell. Other than that, I had a great weekend in Miami. Thank you. Thank you. Hillary Clinton recently complained about all the White House construction for the upcoming UFC event. I guess she's really sensitive about homewreckers. Finally. Thank you. And finally, the NYPD is investigating footage that showed several men coming out of a manhole at 2 a.m., or as the cops call it, pulling a reverse Don Lemon. I don't know what that means. All right. So for 3 weeks, violent nutbags clashed with police at an ICE facility in Newark, New Jersey. Just last night, 20 were arrested. Other lunatics were cuffed for kicking, punching, and one guy, Brendan Geyer, bit an ICE agent. Others, like this overgrown chia pet, threatened to kill agents and their families.
I'll kill your whole family! Your whole family's dead! Come on! Children, your wife, come on! All dead! Put it! My boy! I have your face, mother! You're dead! Dead!
He's now hosting a show on MS Now. So he was arrested. He's facing federal felonies. But that's their idea of a peaceful protest, threatening not just an officer, but his entire family. New Jersey Governor Mikey Sherrill blames the violence on outside agitators. It's the people from outside her state creating the chaos, and she wants them gone. But hold on there, lady. Are you now saying that outsiders aren't welcome? What happened to your concept of sanctuary? Because now you've just adopted the same logic that you condemn when we deal with illegal felons. Oh, they're not from around here, so we should send them back. But what if they're just dreamers? They're just here to assault the people we aren't willing to assault. But Mikey's response, ship them out. Suddenly her sanctuary logic has gone faster than a boner at the View's annual bikini car wash. It's been a while, I know. Every year, once it gets warmer. But I get it. These aren't your protesters of old. They've morphed over the past 6 years from going mopey to mentally ill. Because it seems the left's activism has become so extreme and unappealing that most normies have bailed. And then the politicians, media, and podcasters show up and they outnumbered the psychopaths. Yet they pretend this is organic when it's manufactured. But manufactured with bad parts, like when I bought that used heart valve from Ecuador. So the Dems are drawing their cannon fodder from unstable people with literally nowhere else to go. It's pure exploitation. Remember Project MK Ultra, that secret government plan to use drugs to recruit and brainwash people into covert government ops? Well, the Dems, they got it easy. Their recruits are already brainwashed and high. Now you just point them in a direction, like an ICE facility, and hope that one or two die. That's the goal. People with nothing to live for, no friends, family, or future, become martyrs for mayhem. Meanwhile, the rioters have more cash thrown at them than a Somali clearing center. Where's that coming from? Who's standing in the shadows, weaponizing this sad carnival? Big-time left-wing money, the same donors who funded the old bats at No Kings. They're like a national touring theater group with paid actors. Instead of doing Shakespeare in the park, they're creating a cuckoo's nest in the dark, giving rioters helmets, knee guards, military-grade goggles, welding gloves, respirators. It's the Battle of Midway for those picked last in dodgeball. These aren't grassroots protests. And lucky for the party, when you lose one protester, another steps in, because in that angry, sad world, there's no shortage of disenchanted souls. Recent data found adults that identify as libs are more likely to be depressed than conservatives. Liberal women were 3 times less likely to be happy than Republicans. So they're there for the picking. A party that's becoming more extreme and their antics more insane scour the unstable for shock troops to their cause. It's basically a war between our republic and an insane asylum. Guess which side the Dems are on. Let's welcome tonight's guest. This secret agent can kill you with boring conversation. Former CIA operative and host of the President's Daily Brief podcast, Mike Baker. He once hosted Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, which was the original title for Fox and Friends. Star of the new Fox Nation special, Jeff Foxworthy. The joke's on me, Jeff Foxworthy. She once ate a raisin, and we all thought she was pregnant. New York Times bestselling author, Fox News contributor, Cat Tip. And he makes more old ladies weak in the knees than osteoporosis. Former NWA World Champion host of Live Damage Podcast. Mike, you were in the CIA, so you brainwashed a lot of people. You destroyed a lot of lives. Some people will never regain their normal function, thanks to you.
You make it sound like a bad thing.
I know. So when you look at what's going on out there, isn't this kind of like a brain psyop going on here?
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of elements to it. And thank you, by the way, for bringing up MK Ultra yet again.
Yes.
It's always fun.
You never like it when I bring it up.
You know what? It was a sad time in our history. Let's leave it at that, shall we? So
that's one way to put it.
That's like saying the JFK assassination was a bad hair day.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was bad from a public relations perspective.
Yes.
Look. You may not know this, but I have a company that does a lot of intelligence and investigations, Portman Square Group. And we have spent a lot of time over the years investigating activist groups.
Right.
And so, inevitably, it should be no surprise to anybody, but it still is for some reason. You get a lot of linkages between these various groups that look like they're grassroots or just a local thing or it's a community. I'm glad that the governor is pointing out this fact. It's a little disingenuous since she kind of started the whole problem, right? By going over to the Delaney Center, I didn't do my research, and talk about what was going on inside. So, but it's good that she's bringing it up because there is no doubt that this is a mix of the outside agitators, as she puts it, right? They're the professionals. They're the ones who raise the money. They get the funding, the legal support, the communication support. That's where you see the signage and, as you pointed out, all the gear, right?
Yeah.
And then you get the sort of the young, gormless sheep who are just looking for a community to join, to be part of. And those are the people that I feel worse for than the activists, right? Because they know what they're doing.
What's a gorm?
Gorm.
They say gormless?
Gormless, yeah.
What is a gorm? I have gorm.
Is that like a height thing?
I don't know. Anyway, that was my way to cut Mike off.
I tried to answer your question.
You did not.
You sure you didn't mean gnome?
No, gormless. He said gormless. Oh,
No, it's gnomeless.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, and congratulations on the. So, tell me about your new Fox Nation special. Is it air tonight or tomorrow?
Did today.
Today.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Today. So They asked me if I would be interested in doing another comedy special, and I said, how long? They said 60 minutes. I said, not interested. Because what people don't understand about stand-up, it takes a year of hard work to come up with a 60-minute special.
Yeah.
But I had just watched the whole Beatles thing, where they were, and I said, but if you would do...
was this a special about insects?
No, you know, the whole thing where they ended up playing...
I love the way you ignored that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So I thought, you've always seen with music, it's fascinating with music when you see behind the scenes, you see how songs are created. And people think that comedians just walk on stage and just start talking.
Yeah.
And they don't see the work. So I said to them, the only way I'd be interested is if you'll follow me into clubs with note cards in hands and show me bombing. Talk to my wife about what it's like, because I wanted to do, this is my 12th
No one
special.
would become a comedian.
Well, yeah, they would, because you can't help it. You love it.
Yeah.
And you love it, and it's worth the work, but it's like a great magician. When you see a great trick, he's practiced that 10,000 hours to make that coin disappear.
Yeah.
And so I said, show behind the scenes, and they agreed to do it.
That's great. I'm psyched. I'm going to start watching.
And I'm so proud of it. I'm like, this is something different. I'm like, by the time you do your 12th special, it ought to be different. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So let me ask you about this topic. Do you have anything of interest, anything that upsets you? This kind of protest, does it help?
Well, yeah, I lived in L.A. during the riots, and to me, I don't care what you're protesting. Once it turns violent, and this is how brilliant Martin Luther King was. Once it turns violent, it doesn't matter what you're protesting. You could be protesting people drowning kittens.
Yeah.
I don't.
Who would want to protest that? But go ahead.
But I forget what you're protesting once it turns violent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the people that are paying the price for your violence don't have anything to do with the thing that you're protesting.
Fantastic point. Excellent point. Kat? Kat, you know, what did you make of that guy saying he's going to kill the entire family? It was very dramatic.
Right. You wrote a book about persuasion,
Yes, I
right?
did.
And it's been a while, so forgive me. I don't remember. Did you do a chapter about no biting?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Or no biting and don't threaten to kill entire families?
Yes, I think
Because there might be time for, you know, a little updated version. Because it really, what you were alluding to, it doesn't make, never in the history of biting, which I've studied a lot, has there been someone who was having a disagreement with someone and then someone bit the other person and they said, good point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great point. Now, you know what? Now that you bit me as an adult, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not even like, yes, it's not nice to bite for the person who's bitten, but you're not doing yourself any favors. I tell my toddler that. I'm like, if you keep biting, you're not going to have any friends. Usually that's supposed to like stay there in that phase of life and not move on to the adult phase of life. Kind of beyond kind of disturbing. But even if you don't care about other people for your own self, you're really not going to persuade anybody when you start sinking your teeth into their flesh.
Well, I think this is the point that I was getting. It's not about persuasion. These are not people who are interested in proving any point. There's a thing going on here, which is like a performance tantrum, and there's something wrong.
Again, you're so polite. Maybe it's a height thing. I don't know. But it's not performance.
Yeah.
It's hate. It's attacking. But they're doing it with a life preserver on because the other side can't engage until they're engaged. There is nothing more disgusting than someone biting you.
Yeah.
And I've had to deal with that when someone bites. And all bets are off because it's not just their disgusting mouth, all their germ. You can get ridiculously sick from a human bite. Like it's the bacteria and stuff in the teeth is terrible. So once that bite happened, it should have been arrested. But that's the thing. We give them so much credit. We give them mostly? That word doesn't work. Even in the movie Aliens, mostly they come out at night. Mostly. You didn't have to say it twice. It's a bad word. There either is or there isn't. And once the first rock is thrown, it should be arrest everybody.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you stop this. And yeah, they'll get out because they have bail and stuff. But guess what? They come back next. No, this is the same group that attacked us. Why are we waiting for them to attack again? You have to go on the offensive now. Because the men and women who are defending these things, they're open target. That person who's getting bit has got to get all kinds of shots now. Like, it's just, it continues to happen, and we keep giving them those excuses. You can't, when they say we're here to protest, this is the same group who didn't know what a woman was. So how the hell are they gonna know what a protest is?
Yeah.
Like, we need to treat them like they act. If you don't know things, if you are this aggressive, if everyone has matching burqas, there's a good chance they had a meeting before the party, and they're not there. You never hear anyone with alternatives. You never hear anyone, if you give them a microphone, they say, well, I'm here because I feel that this group is that. No, it's you, and I'm going to kill you. And by the way, that dude, as soon as he said I'm going to kill your family, everybody should have stopped, hit the spotlight, and let the guy walk up to him like, well, we can just do this right here. Yeah. But I guarantee you he wouldn't have stepped forward.
There was that reporting that they said, well, what are you here for? They're asking some of the crowd. And the guys are, we're here for a lot of different things.
Yeah, and that's the group. That's the group leader.
Yeah.
All right. We must move on.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.